0%. Oh, one liked. Dub, dub, dub. I'm just going to wait for more people to join. Hello, John. Hello. Hello, everyone. Oh, everyone's coming. Everyone's joining. Hello, everyone. Good evening, Cody. Ningbo Flyer. Jayden 你办过最懒的签证？巴厘岛。That's visa on arrival, though. So to translate that into English, he was asking me the hardest visa I've ever applied for. I would say Bali. It was just visa on arrival, but have to pay in cash and line up. Hello, Corin. Hello, Peter from Perth. I'm already overwhelmed. Hang on. Ravi, when are you going to Dubai? I'm not too sure. I'm so sorry, but I swear soon. I swear to God. Joey Games. I'm currently in Takamatsu, Japan. And tomorrow I'm going to fly China Airlines to Taipei and Melbourne, Australia. Any cut hooks in the room? There are actually cut hooks in the room. If you look at that, that's my toiletry bag, and I'm using the coat hook for it. Bryant met me at Manila Terminal 1. I remember. If you don't mind, I'll show you the photo that we took together. It's going to be somewhere buried within all the videos I got. It was January something when I was going Narita, Manila, Hong Kong. Where is it? I'm afraid I can't find it right now. I'm so sad. All right, let's move on. I'm sorry. Charles. Hello, nice Japanese business hotel. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, not bad. It's a single room. I'm in the JR hotel in Takamatsu, so very convenient, right next to the JR train station. And tomorrow, if I need to go to the airport, well, when I do go to the airport, there's a bus stop just below. I really like that Japanese kettle, by the way. Haven't seen them in ages. You don't find them in Australia. Hot water on demand, so convenient. Right. Any plan to come back to Malaysia? Absolutely. I'm going there on the 21st of January. I'm flying Turkish Airlines and then probably Ethiopian to Singapore a few days after. Where am I up to? Someone said fly QF936. Sounds like a domestic flight to me. I wonder if I could pin the comment that I... There we go. So you know what question I'm up to, perhaps. QF936. Perth to Brisbane. Oh my god, that's a long flight, isn't it? And it's going to fly via Adelaide. I mean, over Adelaide. You um, the local time in Japan, 1933. By the way, I bought this clock recently in a department store in Kyoto, and I'm obsessed. Like, it tells you the time, temperature, and humidity, and it just looks so aesthetic. I like it so much, and it's portable. I can take this to anywhere I want. I don't need this to be plugged. It's just that it's going to charge it for me. So, see, if I unplug it now, it still shows. Love it so much. Japan is dangerous because, like, I tend to buy things that I need, not I want. But in Japan, it's so easy to break rules. Um, Again, I'm in Takamatsu, so it's on the west of Osaka. Yesterday, I took Shinkansen from Osaka to here. Da, 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 da. Simon, when am I going to Indonesia? I'm actually going there next month. Is it next month? Yes, end of next month. Bali. Bali, Bali, Bali. Where all the Aussies are. Da, 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 da. Samantha, scariest flight experience. I'm actually not scared of flying, so nothing too interesting. But just recently, I think because of all the typhoons nearby, like Japan and Hong Kong, all the flights have been so bumpy. Um, like I would be sleeping on the plane and it would wake me up, and it's so hard to fall asleep again. By the way, it's so quiet here. I'm gonna play some music. It's eerily quiet. I don't like it. Um, I'm gonna find the music that I use for my own videos. 1 second. Hmm. There we are. Um, there we go. That's better. Right. Junyao Airlines to Helsinki. I actually saw that plane in Helsinki last year when I was in the Helsinki Finnair Lounge. Didn't know they fly there, but yeah, probably an airline that I haven't tried, and I'm happy to try out the Chinese carriers. It's one of my focus this year, next year. Am I flying to Guangzhou this month? Uh, no, no more mainland China for me and Hong Kong this year. The Qantas saga, holy crow. Um, I'm a bit not too up to date with it anymore, but with, my opinion would be, for at least the stuff that I know, the only thing that I don't quite like about Qantas is the fact that they've got a chairman lounge. Like, I know some people need the security and privacy, especially some A-listed and C-listed people, but I can't think of any other airlines apart from Virgin Australia and Qantas that do lounges for those kind of people. Cow Aviation, you brought your mic to Japan. I actually bring this everywhere I go, and it's a bit tricky sometimes because this trip, for example, I've only got my carry-on, and it takes up a third of my carry-on space. And the reason I do bring my mic is just because I'm away all the time. If I do my editing at home when I'm back in Adelaide or Hong Kong, I'm using the time that I could spend with my family and friends and also my cats. So usually I do editing when I'm in a hotel room. For example, an hour ago, I was editing my Cathay video from Narita to Hong Kong. Have I ever tried Azerbaijan Airlines? No, I haven't, but I would like to try it. I've seen their planes before, definitely, at Heathrow Airport, I think. I used to do plane spotting, and I remember this livery quite distinctively because it's so blue. Blue, blue, blue. Um, Tell us more about 6'4". Um, Here's one of you guys, a subscriber. It's from Sydney. How do you think about Malaysia Airlines catering problems? Um, I hope it's solved now. I'm not too sure. But yes, so I was a bit surprised that they don't do it in house, especially at KL Airport. Because basically, I could be wrong, but it's something to do with a third party catering that the contract ended, right? So, ooh, shouldn't have happened. There should always be a plan B, and a plan B shouldn't be meal boxes and just peanuts. Ouch. 可唔可以飛下香港航空商務? So could you try Hong Kong Airlines business? That's the question in Cantonese. Yeah, it's in my plan because it's quite cheap. My mum actually did that yesterday from Osaka to Hong Kong for 4 grand Hong Kong dollars, so about 500 USD, 800 AD. When are you coming to Bangkok? I went there last month. It's a city that I love, and I'm always going to go back. Why do you have family in Vietnam? I don't have family in Vietnam. I don't. Mr. Leung, where's your cat? I've got 2 cats in Hong Kong. Lily, the one I always feature, she's in Adelaide, Australia. Charles was in Takamatsu 2 days ago. Oh, what did you do? Let me know. Today I went to the castle near the JR train station, and I just wandered around really. I went to a suburb randomly and I had a haircut. And terrible communication there because not a word of Japanese from me and not a word of English from them. But I think they did a good job. I actually quite like it. I don't have any hair product right now. It's quite good. Qatar flight soon. Not really. Not my plan at the moment. Something that I've booked for the coming months include Qantas, operated by Finnair to Singapore, from Singapore, sorry. Iceland Air, United, American Airlines. What else have I got? China Airlines tomorrow. I'm also trying seaplane for the first time this month from Boston Harbor to Manhattan. So excited for that. And that's the reason I'll only have my carry-on again next trip because seaplane, they can't accept a large suitcase. And it's winter, so it's gonna be tricky. Oscar, do I know Sydney squad? Not personally, but I've watched their videos and I watch them time to time. Like I haven't played behind the background. I don't actively watch them anymore, and I don't do plane spotting anymore. But it's quite calming watching plane spotting videos sometimes. Would you ever consider flying Virgin Australia to Tokyo? Absolutely. Just for fun though. I don't think I'll necessarily like flying 737 all the way to Japan. Will I do live frequently in the future? Maybe. To be honest, And to be frank, last time when I did live with Aiden, I fly aviation back in my home in Adelaide. I said, "Oh, I'll see you soon. I'll do another live." But it's been a year. Time flies. I actually thought about doing it in Harbin, China as well, but I had some connection issues, so it took a while for me to do live again. And here we are. I'm in Takamatsu. Um, Oscar Brown. If I prefer Cathay or Qantas to Hong Kong from Sydney, I think in general maybe Cathay. At the end of the day, it's 5 star. I think you get more food across all cabins. Um, with lounge access, they're both one world, so it don't really matter. And also, Cathay have way more flights at the moment, like 4 daily flights versus one Qantas flight. And sometimes on Qantas, you get the older A380, even though A380 might be a fun plane to do. I'm doing that next year in January. Qantas A380 to Hong Kong, but I'm not sure old or new configuration yet. Hotel tour. Um, sure. Give me 1 second. I just need to unplug my charger and carry my mic with me. Yeah. Okay, so here's the room. Very tiny. I think 15 square meter. It's a single room. Again, it's the J.R. Clement Hotel in Takamatsu. The view, by the way, let me switch off the light so you can see properly. There we go. The view is quite cute. So that's the pier terminal because we're located on an island. So um, other than train or buses, you can also catch the ferry back to mainland Japan. So we've got the main road, one of the main roads, and this black part is actually a castle. I went there today. You have to pay 200 Japanese yen to get in there. It's quite beautiful, very peaceful. Let me switch on the lights. 1 second. And I enjoyed my time there, although not as popular as the castles in Kyoto. But I definitely enjoyed this castle in Takamatsu more because, first of all, you don't have thousands of tourists. And what else? I could actually sit down and read books without interruption. Um, 1 second, just replying to text. Some important text. Right, I'm back. Apologies. I'm just looking for questions. Okay, more 6-4 question. Where is... Well, 6-4 is currently in uni, so he's not traveling with me. He works as well. And I came to Japan with mum, by the way, but she decided to go home because she doesn't quite want to check out the rural, not rural, but like less populated areas of Japan, like Takamatsu. Will you ever try Nepal Airlines? Yeah, it's a country, Nepal, a country that I've never been, so definitely within my radar. And I heard they're going to try operate flights between Nepal via Singapore to Sydney. So I look forward to that. Hello from Bundaberg. Wow, Bundaberg. I like Bundaberg lemonade and the green drink. I forgot what that is. Hello, hello. Where am I up to? Um, How much did I pay per night? I paid 970 Hong Kong dollars for 2 nights. So 500 Hong Kong, 100 Aussie per night, about 60, 70 US dollars per night. This price, you definitely can't do that in Tokyo at the central area. Like, I'm in like the central part of Takamatsu, so it's perfect. I think I skipped a lot of questions. Oh, hello, Tian Yo Wang. He's also my follower on Bilibili. So Bilibili is the Chinese version of YouTube, and I started recently uploading Mandarin videos there. I actually tried to do live on Bilibili today, but had some trouble logging in. I'm gonna try that in the near future again. Sarah, I'm scared of the dark. I'm so sorry. 15 square meter, approximately. Well, in Hong Kong, we would say 150 square feet. Uh, it's a shoebox, really. Um, but for a single room in a hotel with just a carry-on suitcase, myself, good enough. Um, Adelaide Aviation. Will you ever fly the new Vietjet from Ho Chi Minh to Adelaide? It's one of those flights where I'm not keen at all, but I'm more than happy to try out just for the sake of doing a video on it. And also, I do like Ho Chi Minh City, so I don't mind. But yeah, like 333 configuration on a Airbus A330. Before I even get to Ho Chi Minh, I think I would have passed out on a flight to Perth. Have you ever tried any low cost carriers from Japan, like Peach and Zip Air? No, I haven't, but long time ago, 5, 6 years ago, I tried Jetstar Japan. Um, Jetstar Japan. So it's a company that is run by Qantas Japan Airlines, and I believe one local Japanese company as well, not aviation related. Um, when will you come to Darwin? I went there during COVID, I believe 2021, and I really liked the city. Uh, obviously, not it's not like Sydney, Melbourne, or even Adelaide, where you've got a long high street and things to do, like lots of things to do. Like, definitely not a city vibe if that's what you're looking for. But I like how there's like a promenade with like a fake beach and lots of restaurants and bars and cafes, ice cream shops, and people ride scooters everywhere. That's like the kind of city I like to live in, really. Scooters everywhere, no traffic. Best country you've lived in? Well, I've only ever lived in Adelaide and Hong Kong. Uh, and there are pros and cons for both, and I like them both as much. Hong Kong, I like how it's always hustling and bustling. Um, it's almost a 24/7 city. Um, everything's quite affordable, except for housing. For Adelaide, I like how it's quite affordable too. Um, Australian dollars falling, so it's good in some sense because um, I earn Hong Kong dollars. Um, and obviously, I own a car, so I can explore the country, like South Australia sometimes. Road trip, more freedom. I like the greenery as well of Adelaide. How many passport do I have? I've got the Hong Kong and the UK passport. Tian Yuan Liu, did you grow up in the UK? No, I didn't. I've only ever visited the UK, never lived there. Jason Wu, do you have plan to take China Eastern C919? The music stopped, by the way. It's getting quiet again. Um, Absolutely, I do want to try that aircraft, not just for YouTube. The only reason why I didn't do it the past few times I went to mainland China is because you. I think they're only currently running between Chengdu and Shanghai Hongqiao airports. Some YouTubers have done that, like they've gone out of their way just to go to Chengdu and Shanghai to do it. But I'm not that kind of person who go to a particular city or country just to try out that aircraft. Because when I travel, I've got a purpose. Like I want to do things there, and I don't want to just fly and stay in a hotel and shoot off tomorrow elsewhere. So if I've got, say, next year they're just still doing Shanghai and Chengdu, then I would only do it if I've got plans and things to do in Chengdu, China. Uh, uh, Peter K. Peter always leave nice comments on YouTube, and I appreciate that so much. Any exciting planned future flights? So the seaplane from Boston to Manhattan, that's one of them. I'm also excited for the Qantas Finnair flight from Singapore to Sydney. Mm, Iceland Air 757 and 767. I'm doing Amsterdam, Reykjavik, I think, and then back to Europe to Heathrow 767. Excuse me, I just burped. um, Now there are really, really a lot of questions, so I'm so sorry if I skipped yours. I'm literally lost again. I don't know where I'm up to. Oscar, when will you come to Central Coast? I do want to go there this year, actually, like December. I don't have any flying plan in December. If anything, it's just domestic. So I tend to not travel, to be honest, during like July, August, Northern Hemisphere summer, and also December and January in Australia because airfares are so high. That's one of them. And over tourism, I don't want to be one of them. And uh, the flights are always going to be full. I don't want kids. I want an empty seat next to me. Da, 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 da. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Can you show us outside your room? Unfortunately, not right now because I'm wearing like hotel provided pajamas and it's dark. But I'm actually vlogging, so within the next few weeks, when I upload a trip report, you'll be able to find the Takamatsu vlog at the end of the videos, like I always do. Will you travel from Sydney to San Diego? Um, I've always looked into that, but it's just so expensive to fly from anywhere, Asia, Australia to South America. The cheapest I've seen is actually via America, and if I do that, it's a long journey, and that's the reason why I haven't been there. But it's definitely my radar. If I see a cheap fare anytime soon, I'll book it, I swear. Mm. Have you ever seen Daima? So Daima means ch older Chinese mums messing up flights in China. To be honest, no. Uh, everyone have been quite civilized, relatively, when I fly within mainland China. The only times, in fact, I've seen Daima messing up was at Hong Kong airport. They were dancing at the boarding gate, and I actually got that video. If you look up Emirates Hong Kong to Bangkok in my channel, you'll see them dancing at the boarding gate with loud music. And FYI, I'm not answering to any political questions. Adelaide, I'm going back end of this month. Um, Grace, would you ever come back to Brisbane? I like Brisbane. It's just that domestically it's a bit far from Adelaide and expensive. Um, if I see cheap fares, I'll go like any other Aussie cities. Perth and Darwin, I like them too, but too expensive to go from Adelaide. Do you think Qantas A330 is much newer than any other airlines A330? Uh, when they refurbished it a few years ago, absolutely, but not anymore. They just look all right. Like I've flown recently on China Eastern. Um, what else? I think that's the only one. China Eastern A330, and definitely much newer and more comfortable, more legroom. The thing about Qantas seats, I think fundamentally they're comfortable. Like they've got the pouch, which I really like. It's good if you've got like too many stuff in your handbag that you want. You want it handy, but the leg room, not good enough. And the fact that Qantas fly long haul and Aussies are quite tall doesn't make sense. Am I going back to Singapore anytime soon? Uh, for transit, yes. To visit, no. The thing about Singapore, I went there quite a lot last year and a few times this year because obviously geographically it's good, like it's in the middle. However, hotels are getting out of control. Like Hong Kong might have the housing issue, but hotels are heaps cheaper. Alfred, do I have any brother or sister? I've got two older sisters. Um, and one of my sisters got two sons and one daughter. So I've got two nephews and one niece. Thank you, Louise, for your kind super on this live stream. Much appreciated. Favorite city in Japan? To be honest, I haven't been to a lot of places in Japan. Tokyo always has my heart because I like big cities. I like hustling and bustling. So Tokyo. When will you come to Sydney? I go there a lot, like every month. The next time I'm going there is the day after tomorrow. So I'm doing China Airlines to Melbourne, and then Qantas A330 to Sydney within the same day, and then I think I'm there for 6 7 days. Afterwards, Korean Air 787, I believe, to Seoul Incheon, and then from Seoul 7478 to LAX, and then return A380 and 747 into Sydney, which will be really exciting because currently there's no 747 passenger aircraft flying into Sydney. Am I gonna try the airline Air Calin? I do want to go to. I think New is where the base is. I want to go to that country, French New Caledonia, right? Um, and they fly A321 Neo to Sydney. So if I see the opportunity like many other places, I'll book it. Do you have any recommendations for Cathay special meals departing from Australia? Don't. I stopped ordering uh, plant-based meals with Cathay. I gave up on them. Like they're never good. Can people enter the lounges without pass? I mean, with a credit card, with a business class boarding pass or gold platinum card, you might be able to get in. So just need more detail on that question. Will you ever go to the Western Sydney airport? Even though, I think I actually flew near it recently when I was flying from Adelaide. It looks quite established already. Like I do look forward to flying in there. Um, I don't think it'll be as bad as Avalon when it comes to like transportation. So if it's a lot cheaper than Kingsford Smith, it will definitely get my attention. Have I got my Australian permanent residency yet? No, I'm currently on a work visa. Peter K is asking how am I doing with my Patreon and PayPal. How are you going? Sorry, how are you going with my Patreon and PayPal me supporters this year? So, depending, I'm not too sure what you're really asking, but like, what I do with the money, if that's what you're asking. Definitely it goes towards my trip reports. It goes towards flying business class instead of economy. It goes towards staying at a destination longer because I could pay for the hotel. Um, what I do with those people, for example, is that catching up with them. For example, when I'm visiting America next month, um, I'm catching up with someone from Chicago in LAX, and then we're driving down to Palm Springs, and then I'm meeting up another person who lives in Palm Springs, and I'll meet more people along the way. What is the best airline to fly to America from Southeast Asia and East Asia and Australia? Delta is quite good. I tried them several times this year. They don't give you the most generous portion of food, but um, it's a pretty established airline, good entertainment, and relatively comfortable seats. Um, can't go wrong with JL, Cathay, ANA, Singapore Airlines, but expect a really long flight if you're flying from Singapore. If you want to stretch your leg, they do have a flight from Singapore to Tokyo Narita and then LAX, and also Singapore, Frankfurt, JFK. Do I talk with other Hong Kong flying YouTubers? So, any other flying YouTubers in general, not just the Hong Kong ones. Um, just a few of them, really. Like, I'm friends with a few of them, but not as many as you might think. Will the intro music ever change? I would love to see the opportunity to compose a new piece. I've got a friend at the Chinese Sydney Orchestra who would be interested. DM me and we'll have a chat about that. Okay, look, this question is, um, I'm sure many of you are interested. So, at home, I'm strictly vegan. When I travel, for example, now in Japan, it's just too hard to find plant based sometimes. So, for example, this evening I had a pork ramen. That being said, when I travel, I do try my best to look for vegetarian or vegan food. For example, today I went out of my way to go to a suburb for a Japanese vegan meal. Unfortunately, when I got there, it was closed. Don't know why it was closed. Didn't say that on Google Map. Um, and then on the plane, 99% of the time, I would order a vegan meal or vegetarian meal. However, on airlines like Qantas and Cathay that have a bad reputation of vegan food, I don't bother. Have I ever brought Lily on a plane with me? No, I don't think they allow that in Australia anyway, and she would murder me. What's my favorite airport? A few of them. Quite a few airports I like around the world, um, and I'll list them out and then I'll explain. So Hong Kong, London Heathrow, um, LAX Tom Bradley specifically, Narita, Haneda, Adelaide, Perth, Virgin Australia Terminal only. Mm, yep, those ones are in my mind right now. And what they've got in common is that they're all hustling and bustling, but all of them quite efficient. And also, all of them have big window panels, glass panels. So, great view over the tarmac, lots of natural light. It's good for your jet lag. No, it's bad for your jet lag, so you don't get jet lag. And it lifts up your mood really when you get some sunlight, especially when you've been indoor for so long. Hello there. This guy is from Guangdong, studies in the UK. He's been waiting for my video from Hong Kong to London. I might do that next year. my mum used to live in the UK, so she goes there quite often, and I might tag along next year when she goes. Will I ever fly 787-10 Singapore Airlines to Adelaide? It's on my radar, and I think I'm about to book that for uh, November this year from Bali to Singapore to Adelaide. Um, Flight route wise, it's not the quickest ways because Bali is here, Singapore is here, Adelaide is here. So so I'm doing this. Ooh, ooh. However, it's only about 100 Aussie dollar more, and I would have much better flight experience compared to Virgin or Jetstar or Batik Air. I'll have baggage allowance and meals for free. And also, I can catch up with friends in Singapore during my layover. I have the option of 2 hours or as much as 14 hours in Singapore. And I think I'm going to do the 14 hours option. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Air Callan, A320neo and A330neo. There are a few airlines around the region that I want to try or give it another go, like Air Callan, Fiji Airways, and Air Tahiti, I believe. Fiji Airways, and also Air New Guinea. I want to do Fiji Airways and Air New Guinea to Hong Kong from Australia. And for Air Callan and Tahiti, I want to visit the destination, like Tahiti and New Year itself, and also maybe fly them to LAX or even France. I don't know. I'm not in Kyoto or Osaka. I was there yesterday. I'm now in Takamatsu on a Shinkansen and JR trains about 3 hours away. So Takamatsu has an airport. Takamatsu itself is a city, but quite tiny, like I think smaller than Adelaide. Um, and Takamatsu has an airport where it's mostly domestic, like just to Tokyo, but you can also fly internationally to Taipei and Hong Kong. China Airlines and Hong Kong Express are the two airlines. Thank you so much, Shige, for your kind payment on this live chat. Aiden, have I ever been to Launceston Airport? No, the only place in Tasmania I've been to is literally Hobart Airport. And the reason why Hobart Airport is because 2 years ago, I think before Australia reopened, Qantas cancelled my non-stop Brisbane to Adelaide flight. Not really their fault because there was a storm in Brisbane the night before, and the hailstorm, like the ice, broke or damaged a lot of plane that day, including my 737 to Adelaide. So they gave me the option to fly on a later flight, 737. However, instead of a empty 737 flight that I had booked on, they'll put me on a very full 737 flight. And I don't want to fly on a 737 that's full for 3 hours. So uh, I went for option two, Boeing 717 to Hobart, and then Embraer Qantas Link to Adelaide. P to K, uh, regarding Patreon and PayPal Me, are they increasing? It fluctuates. Um, I believe for other YouTubers as well could be quite similar, especially when it comes to ad revenue as well. I think people just have more money to spend towards the end of the year. YouTube definitely charge advertisers more towards the end of the year as well. And it fluctuates because some people join, some people quit after a specific amount of time. But for the past few years, definitely it's been a steady increase. It's just, but it goes like this, it fluctuates. Hello there. I'm good, good, good. Drinking my hot tea. Will I ever come back to the Philippines? Absolutely. Mm, I went there for the first time last year, not last year, 2019, with my sister and another sister and brother-in-law. And I'm going back in February in 2024. Cebu. I'm doing Hong Kong or Macau to Cebu, and then Turkish Airlines to Istanbul. Do I like Dallas Airport? I actually quite like Dallas Airport, but not all the concourse they've got. I like the main international one where they park their A380 and where the American Airlines flagship lounge is. The flagship lounge is so nice, and also like the reason I've given before, big window panels, lots of natural light, massive concourse as well. I watched this when I was 5 years old with my sisters. I still like planes, nevertheless. Where am I up to? Uh, oh my god, I'm only halfway through. Hey Lee, is Hong Kong or Adelaide my home airport? I would say Adelaide, although Hong Kong, let's call it a secondary home airport. Will you fly Starlux? I think it's amazing. Um, yes, I will. When? I don't know. Um, they don't fly to Australia at the moment. They don't fly to Hong Kong. I will have to go to Macau for it. But when I go to Macau next year, I don't have time. Like I'll be there for like 3, 4 days. So um, physically, there is time for me to go to Taipei and back. But again, as I explained before, when I travel, I want a purpose beyond just flying. Like I don't want to just go to Taiwan, return. Like I'll be so sad flying back to Macau if I don't explore the country. So not going to do it in February next year. Um, good point by Hansen. Regarding Cathay vegan meals, um, I think they'll be good. They're collaborating with a Hong Kong hotel chain, Overload, which also have hotels in Australia and Bali. And what's interesting about this brand is that they're pretty plant-based. I'm pretty sure most, if not all, restaurants that they operate in their hotels in Australia, Hong Kong, and Bali serve vegan foods only. Um, so I have trust in that. However, they are only providing those vegan meals on Cathay. in economy and premium economy. So if you're flying in business class, you're still getting those boring tomato pasta. And nothing wrong with tomato pasta, but if you're having the same pasta on every single flight, eh, no thank you. Do I miss Lily when I travel? Absolutely. And I feel bad every time when I pack up and she's sitting on my suitcase, and I'll be like, "You're not coming with me, girl." Elliot, I thought Singapore was the best airport. I don't want to be too controversial. I like Changi, but it's not my favorite. The thing about Changi is that they've got amazing things like swimming pool, gardens, the Jewel, the shopping mall. However, I think those things are only great, amazing if you're like a first time visitor. Like it gives you the wow factors, reasons to wow, wow, wow. But as someone who travel quite often, they're not necessarily the things that I look for. I look for good lounges. I look for big open space, good Wi-Fi, and I look for natural light. And I think Chang is definitely not too good at the natural light part. I also don't like how terminals 1, 2, 3 don't have the central security. Instead, you do it at the boarding gate. So, say if I take a plastic bottle from the lounge, I can't bring it into the gate. I know there are water dispenser, but it's just annoying when you do it every time. Um, and regarding passport, yes, I've got 2 passports, and I'll show you. 1 second. Um, so here's my fading UK passport, European Union, no more. And I don't know how it will turn out in 5 years' time. I've still got 5 years to go with this red passport before I switch to the new beautiful blue passport. My my Hong Kong passport. My Hong Kong passport. Where did I put it? I can't believe I laughed at my own joke. Here's my Hong Kong passport. Hong Kong SAR, Hong Kong Chinese passport. I think Hong Kong is one of the only places in Asia where they allow dual passports. I've not met or known any other fellow Asian nationals with 2 passports. Um, UK. I'm going there this month. I'm doing Toronto to Heathrow on Air Canada, and then United to Boston. I'm only there for 3 days, sadly, because I'm just squeezing a UK trip uh, within my USA trip. And I really want to go to the UK because I've got friends there, I've got family there, like cousins and auntie, uncles. And I really, really want to go to a real Marks and Spencer and get some biscuits and maybe new clothes. Sarah, skincare routine when I'm on a plane? Not really, but I usually do it at my destination. What I have in my travel bag is Pearl Bank, of course, notepads from hotels in case I want to write a thank you note to the cabin crew, hand cream from L'Occitane, and SIM cards for several countries. I've got a face moisturizer somewhere. Nivea Q10. I bought this recently in Woolies for half price. Really happy with it, and I think I'm gonna purchase this again in the future. Smells good and not too oily. and it's within 100 milliliter. Aiden, when do you go to bed? I'm a horrible night owl. Um, Usually when I'm at home, like Adelaide or Hong Kong, I don't go to bed until at least 2 or 3 AM. Half of the time, I don't go to bed until, like, in the morning, like sunrise. It's bad, I know, but I don't know, I do voiceover at home, and if I've got people at home, obviously I can't do it during the day, and I hang out during the day with people, and I don't know why, but I feel like my voice is better at night for voiceover. Like in the morning, I feel like I've got phlegm, yucky. Richard, how is 6'4" feeling about me vlogging? Well, he has to deal with it. But yeah, to be honest, everyone I've traveled with, whether it be friends or family, except for my crazy cousin, they're all camera shy, understandable. Um, but they are getting used to it. Like my mum, she used to hate it, but then she sees how I was featuring Mr. 64 quite a few times this year, and she was like, she has to lift up her game. And that's why I was featuring my mum a lot recently. Like, if you go back to my Cathay Hong Kong to Sydney video, you'll see her a lot. And in a comment down below, can you guys guess how old she is? I really want to see what your answer will be. I might or might not expose her age. She'll kill me. Um, have I ever tried EVA out of Brisbane? I've not even tried them before, but it's in my radar. I'm currently One World Sapphire, and I'll keep it for another year at least. Sky Team Elite Plus, another year as well. But then next year, I'm going to work on my Star Alliance. Oscar, have I ever had a baby on a plane? Same as you. Oh, always. I traveled with my nephew when he was 3, and he spilt my cup of apple juice that I had at my on my cup holder. And it was like the only pair of jeans I got for the whole trip. So I was not happy. I was a grumpy 15-year-old uncle then. Can you try Air China 74? I booked them, but then they switched my aircraft to a 777 last minute earlier this year from Shenzhen to Beijing. I'll give it another go soon. Thank you so much, little lucky Jimmy and Toby, for your kind support here on my life. Hamilton Island, have I gone there? No, I haven't. I don't think so. I've been to Noosa. That's like the closest I've been to, I think, to Hamilton Island. I do want to go to Hamilton and Whitsunday soon. They're beautiful. Aiden again asking, is Qantas my favorite airline, and do I only use it when because I'm in Australia? And simple answer, yeah, I do like them, and I do have to use them a lot because I live in Australia. Same goes for Virgin Australia. I have to use them a lot. I think this year I flew Virgin Australia the most, and obviously it's always between Adelaide and Sydney and Melbourne where I connect onwards with another airline internationally. Mr. Josh, is this my current full-time job? It is. Um, and the reason why I landed myself doing this is because um, I looked for an aviation job in Hong Kong and Australia. Um, in Australia, it doesn't quite work because I don't have permanent residency yet, so it's a matter of time. Whereas in Hong Kong, when I looked for it, I was looking for a graduate program. For those people who just graduated, when I graduated uni, I applied in Hong Kong. Things were looking good. I was actually doing interviews and stuff. However, Omicron started. So if you remember, Hong Kong didn't really have any COVID until 2022. Like Hong Kong was pretty much COVID free for 2 years when the whole world was like locking down and stuff. Hong Kong never really had a lockdown. It's just that the border was shut. So Omicron started and they weren't looking for candidates anymore. So now they've reopened, yeah, but it's already too late for me to look for a graduate uh, role because I graduated over a year ago. So a bit unlucky timing wise, but I'm happy doing what I'm doing. And just so you know, if you're adding new questions right now, it'll be about maybe 15 to 20 minutes until I get to you because I'm less than halfway through at the moment going through the questions. So please be patient and don't repeat your questions. Um, 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 a very debatable question. Some people say I sound Asian, very bloody Hong Kong. Some people say I sound British. Some people say I sound Aussie. And it's almost like when some people say, it's almost like Asian American or whatever. They live in America and they're like, uh, for a white person, I'm too white, but oh, sorry, for a white person, I'm too Asian, but for my Asian families, I'm too white. Like I don't belong. But I don't have that issue identity wise. It's just with my accent. Um, um, with my English, I started speaking English at home with my Filipino nanny. At school, compulsory in Hong Kong, and I had all sorts of teachers teaching me English. Um, I don't remember kindergarten teachers, but I remember in primary school, from year 1 to 3, I had Singaporean and random guaipo, I can't remember. Year 4, I had an American. Year 5, I had a British. Year 6, I had an South African. So I never really had an Aussie teacher until I went to Australia. And then in Australia, I live in Adelaide where people have a different accent. So recently, I was in Sydney and people's like, "Oh my god, well, where are you from? Why do you sound like this?" Yada yada. And I'm like, "I live in Adelaide," and they're like, "Oh." So I don't know. Some people might think I just sound Adelaide. Some people think I sound British. Some people think I sound Aussie. Some people think I sound Hong Kong. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Shun Montang, what hair products do you use? By the way, she's the crazy cousin I was talking about. Might sound crazy to you, but I actually don't use any hair products. I don't use shampoo, conditioner. I don't use hair gel. I use only water. And my mum does the same thing, to be honest. And I think it's just as good or as bad as anyone else who uses shampoo and conditioner. And the thing about not using shampoo might sound crazy to some, but some of you might know that some Asian genes don't produce smell, like armpit smells or sweat or whatever. So I understand it won't work with some people if you don't put shampoo because it's going to stink, but mine doesn't, I think. Has any airline reached out to you for clarification when you highlighted something unpleasant. Surprisingly, no, but I have airlines that interacted with me, like um, liking my posts, liking my stories, and I've only ever had individuals like cabin crew and pilots uh, saying things like, "Thank you for making the video," "Oh, I was on this plane and I was in this video. Thank you so much." Yada 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 yada. Or some people will say, "Oh, could you please blow my face?" That's it, really. Like I've never really had a PR person coming to me and say like, "Oh, delete that," or like, "Oh, sorry for your unpleasant experience." Have I ever? I forgot to tag the question. I'm so sorry. That was the question I was answering just now. Now, the next one, have I ever flown Vietjet? No, not yet. Do I want to? No, but would I do Vietjet from Adelaide to Ho Chi Minh? Probably. What's my flight number tomorrow? For those who want to track me tomorrow, my flight numbers are. I'm just looking at my boarding passes on my phone. I've got a lot. China Airlines, 中华航空, Takamatsu to Taipei would be CI 179 CI Iji Nana Jo in Japanese, I think. And then my connecting flight to Melbourne, CI 57 in premium economy. Very, very fancy. Okay, next question. So David is asking, how do I fund my trip? So most of my income comes from YouTube ad revenue. So, you know, those annoying ads that you watch before the start of my video or halfway through my videos, um, those advertisers pay YouTube and YouTube pay me. So, as annoying as it is, they do fund my trips. So, I do appreciate if you don't skip them all the time. Um, and those ad revenue, they do fund for my flights and hotels and like cost of travel associated to my travel, things like food and souvenirs. I also get money from Patreon members, YouTube members, PayPal me, and people now giving me super money. And also from time to time, uh, companies like Manta Sleep and VPN companies reach out to me. They would give me money to talk about their products for like a minute or so. So again, might be annoying, but they're the reason why I can do videos. Hey Lee, my passport is not BNO because I was born after the handover. I was born in year 2000. Uh, my mum's British, so I'm like a descendant, if that's what you call it. Um, will I get an Australian passport? I don't know. I'm still trying to get my permanent residency, so um, I want to get that sorted before I even think about being an Australian and get a passport. I'm in a hotel, JR Clement Takamatsu Station. I didn't know till recently that JR, you know, the train company, Japan Rail, I believe, what it stands for, have their own hotel. It's so cool. It's almost like imagine in London, they've got London Underground Hotel, Paddington. That would be so cool. This guy, Fish, is asking if I'm gonna try any exotic airlines and flights. I would say the seaplane that I'm doing next this month is quite exotic. Boston to Manhattan. Very looking forward to it. Never did anything like it. Never did helicopter as well. So yeah, very looking forward to it. And Iceland there, quite exotic for people from Hong Kong and Australia. I make this joke a lot. Beautiful blue passports. I love it. Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm loving my time here in Takamatsu. Next time, because I'm only here for 3 days, so I'm not really exploring much of Shikoku, the island. But next time when I'm back with somebody else, whether it be friends, 6'4" or mum, definitely rent a car and explore the rest of the what do you call it, province or state, island. This guy, if I could ask, what would be the best thing to do in Changi within 19 hours since I've got a connection here, there, once I return from Dubai, Brisbane to Dubai? Uh, if you're there during the day, definitely check out the city, check out the Jewel shopping mall. If you're there at night, maybe stay at the hotel at the airport. There are lots of things to do, like cinema, outdoor garden. 19 hours a bit of a stretch, but I'm sure you'll survive in Changi. They've got pretty decent Wi-Fi as well. Have I ever considered moving to other cities in Australia? Every time I go to another capital cities, including Darwin, except Canberra, I think about, oh my god, I should move here. Um, but the reason I'm sticking with Adelaide, I hate moving. Like even moving between houses in Adelaide is a pain in the ass. Furthermore, moving state means I have to change my car registration, my driver's license, and I think I have to inform immigration as well. It's going to change my visa as well because with my current visa, I'm restricted to rural area, and their definition of rural area includes Perth and Adelaide. So I technically right now can't move to Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. Am I planning to fly Garuda? People have been asking me to do Garuda since way before I was born, and yes, remember the Bali trip I was talking about earlier? I'm gonna fly Singapore Airlines back to Adelaide. To get to Bali, I'm thinking of Sydney to Bali on Garuda A330. Excuse me, what do you mean by crazy cousin? Oh, just ask yourself, Jesus Christ. 55, 65. Oh, those are the age of my mum that people are guessing. 52. Interesting. Wow, Charles, you're very generous. 40, 20. Well, here's what I would say. The average, you guys have underestimated it a lot. That's what I would say. For context, if you guys really want to figure out, I'm 23 and my siblings are 34 and 36. And normally a person would not give birth until they turn, let's say, 20. So do some maths. Martin just gave me a payment on um, this chat. Thank you so much. And he's got a question. He's asking if it was difficult to get my channel started initially gaining subs and views. Okay, to be frank, YouTube is one of those, let's say, markets where it's easier to start when there are fewer people. Um, what's I'm trying to think of an example. Airlines. Let's say currently there's no Qantas, no Virgin. There's no home carrier in Australia, so it's definitely easy to set up an airline, set up a Qantas, and it's going to be a monopoly. And then Virgin's going to come in, not too hard because they're going to slash prices, offer better products. They're going to be the second major airline in Australia. And then now Rex is the third dude trying to join the market, and it's going to be a lot harder for them. So going back to your question, was it hard to start my YouTube channel? I started it in 2016, and to be frank, not really, but definitely as time goes, the rate of increase, whether it be subs and views, slows down. And is it going to be hard now to start a YouTube channel doing similar things? Absolutely. But you would definitely succeed. And a few people have definitely succeeded if you create amazing content, whether it be exotic airlines, let's say, whether it be amazing editing skills, or that you're an interesting person doing the narration and stuff. Wang, will I consider North Atlantic? I have. Unfortunately, they cancelled my flight. I booked them from Gatwick to Boston less than a month ago. I actually asked you guys on YouTube community whether I should book North economy or premium economy, and most of you voted for premium, and I booked a premium economy flight, and they cancelled it within a week, and they wouldn't offer me well, they did offer me a flight 2 days later, but too late for me because within the 2 days in Boston, I would have gotten that flight to Manhattan and then JFK to Miami. So I had to opt for the refund option. And now I'm booked on United 767. So still quite exotic, I would say. 767. Heathrow Terminal 2 to Boston, Logan. How often do I travel each year? I would say about once every month or every other month internationally. My baby nephew vomited on me when I was 12. Ugh, they're the worst. To be frank, I did something way worse when I was the baby and when my sister was the 12-year-old. Um, the story runs within the family. I shat on her hand when she was changing my nappy, and since then she would never touch my nappy anymore. But my other sister would do it. I have two sisters. My thoughts on low cost long haul like Scoot, Zipper, and Norse. Well, I haven't flown on a lot of low cost long haul. The only one that I had done would be Scoot, Melbourne to Singapore. Wasn't a bad experience, really cheap. So if you're really tight on budget and you don't care about your flights and airport experience, go for it. I booked Norse Premium Economy because I was looking for a comfortable ride across the Atlantic. and I didn't need a check-in baggage. So the fact that it was also cheaper than BA or American economy, I went for it. But hey, they cancelled my flight, so my fun. Eddie, which airline offer the best veggie food? China Airlines, amazing Michelin vegan food, and I'm looking forward to more Michelin Green Star food tomorrow when I fly China Airlines. Qantas Lounge, they offer amazing veggie food, but on board, bleh. What did I study in university? I studied aviation management at the University of South Australia. Peter K thinks my mum is 52 and they look at least 5 years younger than you. Okay, if she looks 52 and then I would add the at least 5, yeah? So 52 plus 5, 57, you're still a bit off. Like, go higher. Gosh, I'm still only halfway through. Um, have I ever met Dennis Bunnick? No, I haven't, sadly. I've walked past his office in Adelaide CBD a few times. I almost had the opportunity to meet him at Adelaide Airport in 2021 or 2 when Rex launched domestic 737 flight to and from Adelaide, Melbourne, Adelaide. Rex invited us to the airport for an event. Um, they even printed my name badge and stuff. However, I couldn't make it because I had to do a compulsory COVID test that day at Victoria Park because Brisbane had like 1 case of COVID, and I was in Brisbane earlier that week. And then I just got a text that morning that I must quarantine, not quarantine, but like self isolate and do the test immediately and wait for the result and don't go out until you get your negative result. So that happened during the event. So Dennis was there at the airport and I couldn't make it. What's the most efficient way to gain Asia miles? So that's the Cathay program. Um, Fly Cathay, Fly One World, credit cards, pretty easy. Uh, Third party sites, booking sites like Expedia, hotels.com earn you quite a bit of points as well. I think Park and Shop as well, the supermarket in Hong Kong, earn you Cathay miles. Ugh. Have I ever been to Greece? No, I haven't. I really want to go to like Santorini and all that, but when I travel, I avoid overcrowded places. This year, 2 of the most overcrowded places I've been to would be Kyoto, especially the tempos and stuff, and Halong Bay in Vietnam near Hanoi. And I swear to God, in the near future, I'm not going to revisit. Like it ruins it when there are too many people. And again, that castle I went today, just down there, versus the ones I've been to in Kyoto, not as big and glamorous, probably not even as historically rich, but I just enjoyed my time a lot more here in Takamatsu Castle because it's peaceful. There aren't people standing everywhere taking photos, cheaper to get in. I could actually sit down and read newspapers. This hotel provides you with a paper every day. I was literally sitting at a part like this, like old man. Like I really enjoyed my time doing that. Next question. 你可以讲中文吗？讲中文，讲中文，讲中文。我可以讲中文。Potato, potato. Why do you love coat hooks so much, but you never wear a coat? You don't need to wear a coat to use it. For example, my toiletry bag, face mask. What else? You know, when you fly business class, they give you like a cloth. You can hang it on the coat hook. So many uses for it. And when I get change in the lavatory, I use it as well. You know, when you wear a pants and there's like the thing for your belt, you can hook it on the coat hook. You got downgraded from China Airlines. I'm so sorry. Tell me more, please. I don't have any. I've never taken any flying courses, but I have flown on a Cessna before. My uncle is a pilot in England, like not airline pilot, but like recreational pilot. Like he's got his own little Cessna. I've flown on that with his instructor friend when I was like 13, just legal to fly, I think. I actually sat on the captain's side as well. It was so cool. What do you think of Virgin Australia joining Star Alliance in the future? I hope it happens, so I don't have to work too hard for getting a Star Alliance gold status. Is their business model going to suit and allow for it? I'm going to go into the ownership part later. First, it's quite interesting for me, to be honest, this year, how Virgin Atlantic joined SkyTeam. It came as a shock to me, to be honest, but again, like Delta own like 49% of Virgin, so I guess it was just a matter of time for that to happen. And before Virgin Australia got acquired, I think that's the word, by Bain Capital, they were owned by Singapore Airlines, Delta, Etihad. So you've got the Etihad having their own alliance. You've got Star Alliance Singapore. You've got Delta SkyTeam. So they were in an awkward position to join any alliance, and also Virgin Atlantic, which weren't in any alliance. Now, Bain Capital, and I believe Virgin Atlantic still own them a little bit, or the boss, Richard Branson. I guess they're in a better position now to join any alliance. Business model wise, if you're talking about their network and stuff, I'm sure there are smaller airlines within Star Alliance that are part of Star Alliance. I'm thinking airlines like Aegean, like the Greek one. I suppose they're smaller than Virgin Australia, and don't know, maybe some South American and other European Star Alliance airlines that are smaller. And I'm sure if we're talking about the size, Virgin Australia hasn't got too much to worry about. Question, because I'm booking Qantas right now, do I need to enter a passport number? I almost never enter any passport number when I book a flight, and certainly not on Qantas.com. Third party might ask for it. Philip, what type of job do I want in aviation? To be honest, I'm open to try anything. Uh, that being said, I did aviation management, so ultimately something in the some managerial position. But I do want to try for fun and for experience. Cabin crew, check in, but will that happen in the near future? Frankly, I don't think so. Will I ever try Hong Kong Express? Um, there are other airlines that I want to do before Hong Kong Express, like Greater Bay, the Hong Kong new airline, 737 only, and Starlux. I definitely want to do them before I try Hong Kong Express. What's my favorite city when I travel? I like hustling and bustling cities because I think they have a lot of personalities. There's always some subscribers who I can catch up with. They can show me around. Um, so some cities are mine, definitely the big ones like Singapore, Tokyo, New York, London. Would you try to fly more European airlines? Absolutely. Iceland Air is one of them that I've booked. Um, um, I might also be booking British Airways, KLM. I've tried them, but it's been a while. And Norse, but they cancelled my flight. So, what can I do? Who inspired me? Who's my role model? So, long time ago, 2016 or 2015, I always watch Simply Aviation, Nonstop Dan, and Sam Choi. And I really like their videos. And I was like, why don't I do the same? Thank you so much, Marty, for your kind super. Haven't seen you for ages. Last time in Yusuke's party, right? Do I have any plan to travel Japan domestic? Not this time, but uh, next year definitely. It's a country that I always revisit. Do I like do I like exploring Perth? I do like exploring Perth. I like I like the beaches. I like Fremantle Beach and the market. I like taking the train. It's very different to the trains you find in the East Coast. And CBD is quite cool. Northbridge, I like Northbridge, of course. How affordable is it to visit Takamatsu? I find public transport to be quite expensive outside of Tokyo. However, hotels super duper cheap. Like I'm staying at the central area, like right next to the train station, and it's less than 100 Aussie dollars, less than 70 USD per night. If you're staying like above the train station in Tokyo or Osaka, I think you're looking at paying at least triple or quadruple. The most expensive hotel I stayed during my travels. Ooh. If we're talking about during my YouTube career, hmm. hmm. It'll definitely be the ones where I split with someone else because I can't afford it by myself. Conrad Singapore would be one of them. You might wonder why I always stay in Conrad and Hilton, by the way. It's because I know I've got a friend who works for Hilton and I get half price. Um a call group as well. I know someone who can give me 30% off. Um, Going back to the question, most expensive hotel. Most expensive hotel. Oh, Doubletree, Times Square, West. It's just a Doubletree, but I went there last year with my cousin during the NYU graduation where Taylor Swift was invited as a speaking guest, and the hotel that weekend was like 500 USD for the smallest room in Doubletree. But I split that with my cousin. Good morning from Houston, Texas. Hello, Joe. It's crazy to think that I've got people watching this from as far as South America and Houston. Thank you so much for offering to show me around. I really appreciate it. I always get people DM me when I arrive at a new city who offer to show me around and we become friends. And like those friendships are cool because uh, we're like minded, we all like planes, we all like to travel. And I appreciate that very much. Um, oh my god, where am I up to? I'm lost again. I've been in this chat for 1 hour and 42. God, time flies. Do you know when Cathay is gonna restart Gatwick in Hong Kong? To be frank, I only think they did Gatwick because they couldn't add more flights to Heathrow. Now I think they're doing 5 daily flights to Heathrow, so back to their pre-COVID flight frequency, but not capacity because they are flying A350 at the moment on some flights. Um, Additionally, they got a Air New Zealand slot from when they used to do Auckland, LAX, and Heathrow. Cathay actually got their 5th slot long time ago when Air New Zealand suspended Auckland, Hong Kong, Heathrow. So Cathay's current 5th and 6th slots are from Air New Zealand, and they're not currently flying 6 daily flights. And I think this summer or winter, whatever, coming winter in England, summer in Australia, they leased out, I think that's the terminology for slots, leased out a slot to Emirates. So the fact that they're not even going to fly 6 flights to Heathrow when they can, I don't think they'll bother with Gatwick because probably Gatwick is not premium enough for them. And what I want to know more, to be honest, is when they're going to restart Adelaide. Haley, I believe you're asking these questions with regard to the money I spend on buying business class sometimes, which is quite rare. Don't you upgrade your seat with the miles? A lot of times I can't because I book the cheapest economy fares. For example, Qantas, which I'm familiar with their international flights, if you book their sale fare, they do not allow points upgrade, and I don't think they allow bid upgrade either, unless you book the saver or flexible fares, which are a lot more expensive, and you're not even guaranteed an upgrade. So I just don't bother. And another point with Qantas Upgrade International, they don't usually confirm your upgrade until you are at the boarding gate. So you would be going to the airport with the expectation that you're flying economy, which I don't want when if I'm gonna end up flying in business, because I'm gonna dress up like I'm economy, but then I'm gonna get upgraded to business. And also, I don't quite like this system because say if if I'm not gold, if I'm just a silver or bronze, I wouldn't have lounge access, even though if I get upgraded to business at the later stage of the journey. So I don't like it. Did I get on the new Shinkansen that has two cut hooks on the seat back and another one of the wall on the wall? I'm gonna look back at the photos. There was definitely one on the wall, 100%, because I saw someone using it. Just one moment. I don't think there was one on the seat. See, that's the seat I got. Beautiful blue seat. I don't think there was a coat hook, but there were coat hooks on the wall. It's a bit bright. If I make it darker, you'll see it. Yeah, those are coat hooks and massive windows. Where am I up to? And just so you know, I think I'll stop this at the 2-hour mark. My tea's getting cold. Would you consider flying SAS A350 or Finnair A350? I will have to book a flight from Heathrow to Helsinki in February, and I'll probably look into Finnair A350 with points. Even their economy is quite expensive. I might end up flying right now. I don't know. Have I ever had a cabin crew telling me to stop filming rudely? Definitely had some telling me to stop filming, but 99% of the time, quite politely. There was one time, quite rudely, but I wasn't even like uh, doing anything that I wasn't even supposed to do, even with privacy in mind. I was literally taking a video of the headrest. And I think because the cabin crew might have been standing at the back, like welcoming passengers on board, she wasn't happy. But then I showed her the video. It was just my big, massive face on the screen. Like her face, her body wasn't even on the video. And she just walked away. Didn't say anything. Didn't apologize. She accused me like quite rudely. I was 18, like a young boy, you know. Mr. Marty, where should I fly soon? Where should you fly soon? Try one of the new airlines from Adelaide, like Vietjet to Vietnam, Batikar, Fiji Airways would be cool. If you're looking domestically, try something exotic like Qantas link to Darwin, Alice Springs, Canberra, Hobart, Newcastle. I want to try Newcastle. How easy or hard for me to get US, Canada other visa with my current job as a YouTuber? Like, I've got two rather powerful passports, which I'm really fortunate. Hong Kong and GBR. This, even without this would take me to most countries that I have been to visa free. The only countries where I had done a visa were Indonesia, Bali more specifically, and Bahrain. Both were visa on arrival, so just credit card, done. And the same would have been applicable for this passport. So the only time where this had became super duper useful was before Brexit in Europe. So I didn't have to line up, and for America, because with this passport, I need a visa for America. This one, I just need ESTA, ESTA. But both visa free, but ESTA or ETA required for most English speaking countries like Canada, New Zealand, and all that. If I didn't live in NT, Hong Kong, where would I live? Um, Definitely Hong Kong Island, hustling and bustling, lots of trams. Um, it's still new territories technically, but Sai Kung, I like the vibe. Uh, I thought I would like Stanley, but after thinking about it, it's just a bit too far and a bit too quiet for me, Stanley. Um, Aberdeen and Discovery Bay haven't really been. Aberdeen too many years ago, I can't remember. But I think both a bit too far for me. Yeah, I really like Hong Kong Island, hustling and bustling. Please teach us some of your favourite Cantonese swear words. I don't think I should say it here. I'll get cancelled. I'll get reported. Lachlan, I've got a question for you. Very nervous when he flies. He tried a lot of things, but he just gets super nervous, especially when it comes to turbulence, takeoff, and initial climb. Try distracting yourself. If looking out the window scares you, or like the G-force scares you, distract yourself by forcing a conversation with the person sitting next to you. I'm sure if it's a stranger, they'll understand. Force yourself to enjoy a Netflix movie. Force yourself to read a paper or magazine or a book that you bring on board. Distract yourself. A bad advice would be drink alcohol. Have I ever had any bad turbulence and had to go to the toilet? Happens too often, like too often. Which Cathay Hong Kong lounge would you recommend? Um, so in Hong Kong Cathay, they've got the wing business, the wing first, the pier first, pier business, and the deck. If it's business class, I would highly recommend the pier, although a bit far, but it's worth it. If you don't have time to go too far, the deck is quite good. If you've got access to the Qantas lounge, check that out as well. It's next to the deck. For the first class lounges, both are quite different, different vibe, different facilities, and I like them both. Depends on what you need and how much time you got, I suppose. What do you think about SAS joining SkyTeam? Uh, it was so sudden and unexpected that KLM and Air France acquired them. Um, as a Delta Gold member, I look forward to it. That being said, if you're American or you fly Delta a lot, you might know that they are changing their system. Um, Currently, as a non-US resident, they don't care about how much I spend with Delta or SkyTeam. As long as I fly enough miles, they'll give me status. But from next year, along with all American residents, they're gonna only look for how much USD I spend, and there's no way I'm gonna meet that gold requirement. So in 2025, I'm gonna lose it. So next year, I'm gonna try my best to try out all the SkyTeam airlines, and then I'm gonna focus more on One World and start looking into Star Alliance. What's the reason this channel was called One More Flyer? Was it because yada yada? Yes, absolutely. It was because I used to fly BA, Cathay, Qantas a lot, and like only them because I I'm from Hong Kong and I studied in Australia, so it's always Cathay and Qantas, both one world. I got family in London, so it's always BA or Cathay, and always Japan, so Japan Airlines or Cathay, so literally all one world. And 5 minutes to go before I sign off, just so you know. Do I film exclusively using an iPhone? I do. Um, iPhone 14 Pro. That's what I'm using. And then, can you please opt up me to first class again if I can't do it online? I really enjoyed my first class flights to and from Sydney. Next country that I want to visit, definitely UAE and anywhere South America. Paper box Matt, you're welcome. Lovely to chat with you all. Am I trying? Am I coming and staying through Singapore again soon? Yes, I am. Uh, February next year and later this November. I will. Just DM me. USA, I'm going there literally in about a month time. Korean Air, Sydney, Incheon, LAX. It'll be a long journey. Worth flying business class, Adelaide, Sydney, Hong Kong. Uh, I would say if you're only limited to one way, do the other way around so you can check out the Hong Kong Cathay and Qantas lounges and the Sydney Domestic Business Lounge because I think it's nicer than Adelaide Club or Sydney International Business Lounge. And you definitely want to sleep on the way back, the red eye flight, not the day flight, unless you want to really experience the service on board. Josh, he's doing London to Sydney, China Southern in a few weeks. Any top tips? Um, if you're flying on the A350 in economy, definitely try at the airport and ask for the extra legroom seat, particularly the one that's by the window with direct aisle access. If you're not too sure what I'm talking about, just watch my Sydney to Guangzhou video. I sat at that very seat that I was just talking about. So good. Uh, Again, it's a window seat, but you got direct aisle access because the row in front of you, there's no window seat, so you can just squeeze past and use the lavatory and don't wake anyone up. And I wouldn't worry too much about their food, but they do focus a lot on Asian food. And if that's not your thing, maybe bring on board. What time is it in Japan? Currently, it's 9:27 p.m. Any plans to visit India? Personally, I do, but it's one of those countries like South America uh, and any new countries really that I want to visit for the first time with someone, whether it be a friend, family, or 6'4". Unfortunately, no one really wants to go to India with me. Soon, I hope I'll convince someone to go with me. Caitlin, is it worth paying a $65 pass to get into the Virgin Lounge? If there's no time limit and you've got a long transit, not definitely, but sure. Uh, unlimited barista coffee and cheap wine and sparkling wine and shower. If it's just for an hour or two, please don't bother. I'm sure there are better options in the airport terminal. Unless, again, you're really craving for that shower. Okay, just 5 more questions perhaps, and I'll end this chat, guys. Um, Good question. Did you eat udon in Takamatsu? Literally every person has recommended me, including the hairdresser, this morning. And yes, I actually got that on my notepad. I'm really old school. I write instead of type. So I don't know if it's reversed for you, but Sanuki udon. It's really popular. You can buy that in Hong Kong too in supermarket, and they're from here, I believe. I'm gonna try that tomorrow. Sanuki udon. Oishi oishi. Right. Moshi moshi. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you guys. Had a few laughter, as you can see. Sayonara. Take care of yourself. And thanks for those who left a like, gave me super payments. Much, much appreciated. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Um, watch my watch my videos tomorrow when I live stories when I fly to Taipei, Melbourne, and Sydney tomorrow. Sayonara. I'll sign off here. Rest the sign off button. Okay, bye.